right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm always ready.
I'm gonna start here, and then we're gonna go down.
Even when I'm not here, or even when I'm not ready, I'm always ready.
Yeah, right. All right. I don't have a drink. Let me get a drink. Yeah, now I'm excited about the deck.
Oh, the deck is hot.
Because I was just like, all right, whatever he's got cooking, he's cooking. And now I'm just like, okay.
I was kind of waiting for like us to be in the actual recording for me to like explain the deck, and then like the brain blast effect, and you're like,
I got it. Yeah. No, I didn't want to be like, I don't understand why you play your stupid deck. Right?
Why do you do this?
I didn't want to do that like mid recording and just look like an idiot. I wanted to be like, all right, give me the TLDR real quick, so now I can be hyped, and now I can point out some shit and ask you questions about it. Right?
Yeah.
But anyways, all right. Hey guys, welcome back to another Fools video. We got the GOAT, Chris Glade. What's up, Chris? How you doing, buddy?
What is up?
Welcome,
doing, buddy?
Good. We've been talking about this for like ever.
Yeah, we have.
Mm-hmm.
We have. It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute.
So if you don't know Chris, he's the guy. Him and what's her name? Brittany.
Brittany, yeah.
Him and Brittany, they've done some podcasts before. They're tournament organizers. They did Salt Fest, one of my favorite tournaments ever. They did in Orlando last year. It was a good time. He's a local CDH tournament grinder. And if you see the title, if you know what's going on, we're playing some K9 War Doctor today. And I cannot wait. I told him a little bit behind the scenes. I was like, all right, Chris, you need what's going on with this deck? And then I saw 23 lands, and I was like, all right. So before we get into that, I'll quit yapping. Before we get into that, Chris, tell me about yourself, buddy. How big's your dick? How old are you? Sorry.
Paquito.
This is the vibe
Shrimp
that we're
gang.
at, guys. Yeah.
Shrimp game.
I have a problem with my videos is like the analytics will be like, oh, it starts off great. And then it just goes mute. No one finishes my videos. So we just do dick jokes every 10 minutes. I think we're good.
That's fair.
Anyways, Chris Glade, my buddy Chris.
That's me.
How you doing?
Dude,
Good?
I am surviving and thriving in these weird times that we live in. But
good,
at
man.
least I know. I thank you so much.
Nice
you look
beard.
good too.
You got. I'm not glazing. I'm not glazing you. I build you up to break you down. You got your hair's washed.
Glaze me. Hair's washed. Like it's not oily. It's actually just freshly washed. I got that beanie on.
That's so
like
funny. I asked him on Discord. I was like, "Hey man, can I get a picture to represent you for the thumbnail?" He sends me like this sexy like mirror pic, and I just put a glazed donut. I was like, "Oh, fuck."
Yep. He's glazing me right now.
All right,
Hole
man.
in everything.
so when'd you start getting into Magic, and why CEDH?
Oh man! All right, so this is gonna be a Reader's Digest condensed version of my history with Magic. So very long time ago, little baby Chris or baby Glade, however you know me.
Baby Glade.
We usually use my last name because it's Glade is like the plug-in. And I was always surrounded by multiple people named Chris, so we just went by last names. So little baby Glade played a lot of Pokemon trading card game back in the day. And when things got too, I want to say political is probably the worst word to use, but essentially there was a TO issue where one person was the premier tournament organizer in Pokemon. I don't know if they have that anymore because it's been a very long time, but essentially she ruled the roost of Florida, and a lot of the parents didn't like her as a human being because she was doing some not kosher things. So what we ended up doing is we started playing Magic when we do our local weekend meetups at like the local Books A Million in West Palm Beach, Florida. I'm from West Palm Beach and Florida. So we went to Books A Million. And my friend Kim, he's kind of like an older brother. He was the gym leader, as I think what they had back in the day, or a professor or something like that, of the mother hen of like the weekly leagues and stuff like that for Pokemon. And he was like, well, since we're having all these issues and, I don't like her and obviously the parents don't like this person, we're just gonna, we're still gonna have fun playing Pokemon, but, let's add some more games to some stuff. So one guy introduced Magic to us, and it was right in between, like, I want to say it was around like 9th edition, because it was in between Kamigawa and Ravnica City of Guilds.
Damn.
And It was like about a month before Ravnica comes out, and Ravnica City Guilds is like my first Magic set. Got into it. My favorite card, because it's a nostalgic card, is literally Boros Recruit. It's a 1/1 Goblin Soldier that's hybrid mana to cast, and it's got First Strike. It's like got really cool, fantasy art for back in those times. And if you like Magic lore, he goes and grows up to be a Legion Loyalist and then the Legion War Boss. At least that's where the fandom is on the lore.
Yeah.
So been playing since Ravnica, but I took a bit of time off as a teenager does, from Cold Snap till about Return to Ravnica. So probably about like 3 to 4 years maybe, because I skipped Lorwyn, I skipped all the Eldrazi stuff, went to Return to Ravnica, and that was when I started. So fast forward to 2015, get into Commander. 2015 precons. It's the Boros precon for that year. I like Boros because it's just like red white is my thing. I was a huge Winota player from 2020 up until, I mean, I still have Winota built and everything, but like Boros is like my thing. Locally known as the Boros guy, so what have you. CDH, got into CDH, I want to say like around 2016 is when the Partner Commanders came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, Akiri is really cool. Bruce is really cool. I'm a Boros player. Voltron gets all this crap in Commander games. I want to make, Boros amazing. So I'm going to like make Boros so cool. So Akiri Bruce is my first like Commander deck that I turned into a CDH deck for, if you want to coin the term CDH back in those days, it really wasn't coined. And then I played like Marath at one point, just to like see what fun dumb combos I can do with that, because we didn't have to worry about like one ring shenanigans like we do these days. And been playing CDH ever since. And pretty much my whole thing is like I've also played other formats like Legacy, so I like to, when it comes to deck brewing, if I can make a Legacy deck into a CDH deck and take it to like a local and see how well it does, and if it does well, awesome. Like I will tote in my one locals thing that Wacky Deli, which is a Legacy deck, as a CDH deck back in the day, was pretty peak. But we don't have to go into the history of that deck, because we're not talking about that fun, weird, nobody ever plays except for me once every Blue Moon Fringe deck. But yeah, that's pretty much my history. Magic is great. And then fast forward to 2024, met my friends that I've now established a streaming group with, called That's Not CDH. And our whole thing is like, we like introducing casual players into the format in a very fun way, where it's like, hey, we are playing the most fringiest things that we possibly can do. Our guest or guests that we have on, if they want to play something like VV, like TNK, like TNT, Magda, Najila, you know what? You're Rogthras. Bring them in. That's fine. We're going to throw the fringiest crap at you, so you know what to expect. But at the end of the day, it's like CDH is a fun format. So we try to go through at the end of every round or every match, which doesn't always end up happening, because a lot of times we end up doing just one full game of like 2 hours. But we like to, do a quick, thing of like, hey, what were your mulligans? What were your keys? What were your thoughts? What was your thing into it? Like, what were you thinking in terms of like your plays? What you could have done better? What you could have done differently? What you excelled at. So, yeah.
Ouch. Sorry, my chair just broke.
Your chair just broke. Here, I'll be the same with you. All right, chair broke too.
It just went whoosh, and I was like, fuck, I'm trying to listen, and I was like, ah.
It's all good. It's all good.
So I got you. So that's pretty cool. So you've been playing Magic for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into this,
longer than I like to admit.
Yeah, before we get into this crazy deck tech, what kind of, do you play any other, like we talked about, somebody has a cool ass artist proof Winota. Is there any other decks that you main, or is
it's not me? It's not me.
Oh, that's so sick. Is there any other decks that you like main or that you loved before this, or?
So, as a little foreshadowing, so yes, I've mained a lot of things, a lot of our Boros decks for the longest time. Up until 2020, when Winota was spoiled, I was on Gerard. Oh, excuse me. I had gotten back into CEDH more regularly and I was playing Gerard Rutherlight Captain. And for those that don't know, Gerard back in the day was like the de facto Boros, like grinding station, KCI
Hmm.
eggs deck. So I had a really fun, cool eggs list that I was running. It was great. It did well, especially in like that Flash meta that we were in back in those days,
Hmm.
where Protean Hulk and Flash were just like the combo, and everybody was running it. And essentially, I would be in pods where it's three other basically Flash players, and they're all like guns at each other, and I'm just over here like, I'm gonna play this land. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Um, I'm going to remove in some way, shape, or form with like the sacrifice trigger of Flash. I'm going to remove your Protean Hulk with my swords or what have you.
Hmm.
So I was playing Gerard for a hot minute. It was a super fun. Like at the time, that was considered turbo-ish,
Hmm.
because it was just meant to be fast. We were playing Mana Crypts back in those days, way before Jewel Lotus came to effect. We had Dockside back in 2019 because that's when it came out. It was that pre-con era. Um, so the deck was super fun. Fast forward to I think it was like April of 2020, and Winota hits. Cool, awesome. I was actually turned off by Winota. I was like, well, she does the typical thing of Boros thing. She just swings and does whatever. A local friend of mine, Gage, was like, no, you have to brew Winota. She's super good. She's super good. Go for it. So like mid to late May of that year, I brewed Winota, played a non Kiki Jiki list, and I've kept it Kiki Jiki list for the last 5 years.
Hmm.
Um, and essentially just like mained Winota for like aggressively for the last I want to say 3.5, 4 years at this
Hmm.
point. I played War Doctor and Canine for a hot minute, but I was still like trying to do Winota stuff and still trying to figure out the whole what we're about to talk about thing. But one thing I've always wanted because I was a huge Winota player was an artist proof. Well, Magali is a very tough artist to get proofs from because she's a very busy person. Like she's
Yeah.
doing artwork for not only Magic, she's doing like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, artwork, like
Hmm.
the advertising artwork for it. She's doing D&D stuff. She's just very, very busy, and I love that for her, but hate it for me.
Yeah.
um, so to the point where like I played Winota religiously for the last like I think from 2020 up until about pretty much mid to late 2023 at tournaments, and I was trying other things like Asia of Sparks and Flame, which is the Ken from Street Fighter. Had a really fun list with that going on. I tried a Boros version of War Doctor, and I think his name's Ryan Sinclair. I'm not very familiar with Doctor Who, so please, if you want to like challenge me on that or what have you, that's fine.
I
I'll
have no
take
idea.
it. Um, but essentially, it was Doctor Who comes out and things change. But I've always been a very Boros centric person to the point where like I finally got my artist proof last year in Amsterdam by just sheer dumb luck. And like now that I have my white whale, I'm like, all right, cool.
That's cool.
Um,
I didn't know that about you. I just know
yep,
I've played with you twice now in tournaments, and the first time
yep.
you cooked us, and the last time fucking Elsha just had the nuts and took me out of the tournament.
Yeah, if Elsha didn't have the nuts, I was gonna have the nuts, and
I mold the 5, which
I
I should have molded the 4. Is what it is.
yeah.
All right. Well, everyone's here.
Mhm.
Let me go ahead and share my screen. So what I'll do is I'll have us still on here, but I'll just have it
Yeah,
where I won't be able to see you, but it'll be okay.
yeah, no worries.
All right, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but we're here today for the War Doctor and K9 Mark 1. So
So
let me
I'm gonna cut you off real quick.
go ahead.
So the deck name is called Inusai.
Okay.
It's a huge meme off of a local Rog Si player. His deck list is called Rog Si, where it's Rogsai, and it's very Japanese. And like the way that the entire deck name is set up is a riff off of that. And we were kind of memeing on it because like the whole Rog Si thing from back in the day pre-bans. So yeah, it's pronounced Inusai. That's all you have to worry about, which is just in
I was going to
dog
say, isn't that.
sai in Japanese.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's dog or cat or something.
Yeah, it's dog sign in Japanese.
Dog sigh.
And the kanji is actually it's the kanji from what Google Translate gave me was for war dog.
Hmm.
or Dog War, one of the two.
Yeah, it's always backward.
It's one of the two.
Yeah, so pretty much I'm going to ask a bunch of questions. Before we get into that, let's just read the two guys.
Yep.
The War Doctor.
Has a lot of text.
2 red, white. Yeah, I know. Whenever one or more other permanents phase out, and whenever one or more other cards are put into exile from anywhere, put a time counter on War Doctor. Whenever the War Doctor attacks, it deals damage equal to the number of time counters on it to any target. If your creature dealt damage this way, exile it instead. Okay. Comes up. It's cool. And then K9. The reason why we're here. K9 Mark 1. As long as K9 Mark 1 is untapped, other legendary creatures you control have Ward 1. And then it has 1 in a blue. Tap. Target legendary creature can't be blocked this turn. Legendary artifact creature. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get in this deck, I do want to ask you, is there TLDR, this deck's about K9, but
yeah.
I want to ask you, are there other K9 decks besides the War Doctor?
So there are. There is a huge, well, not huge, there's a growing community of people who are very into playing K9 and the 14th Doctor.
Okay.
The 14th Doctor is the second David Tennant iteration that it's more food chain focused. I know Comedian made a deck tech or a piece of content about it or about that a long time ago. But essentially it's a huge food chain deck for 4 colors. They add green, they don't have black. But they're a really cool group of people.
So it's in Simic or Bant?
It's in Sans Black.
Oh, 3.
So it's 4. Yeah, it's 4 colors. Yeah, so it's 4 colors. They're Sans Black, and essentially their whole shtick is food chain. You do fun food chain things. They're very creature combo oriented, similar to like your Dargo and Thrasios builds from back in the day when Manila Midget was championing Dog Water, and even Freedom Waffle was championing Dog Water back in those days too.
It's got cooking with that deck.
Yeah, Sean just like played it in a Mox Masters on a whim. He's like, literally in our group chat, he's like, "Hey, so do I play Urza or do I play something else?" And I was like, "Bro, you got to play something else. Urza, you're not cooking hard enough with Urza." He like showed us Dargo Thrasios and I think another deck, and I was like, "No, go Dargo Thrasios. It looks really hot. That seems a lot cooler and a lot more fun. Just go with it." He went with it, became a major proponent of the list. Then Freedom Waffle entered at one point, and the two of them just like went to the moon with it. So, to this day, I keep convincing him that Dargo Thrasios is still good in a post-Dockside world, but
it is. I've seen people cook with Dargo Thras. It's just, to me, that
it's good.
That deck's always been, for me, like, boring.
That's fair.
Like, it's
quite fair.
It didn't tickle my fancy, but I did have it real at one point, and it was crazy with like Dockside. But like post Dockside, you got to be a dedicated pilot, right? But like, Thrasios deck right now is really good.
Yeah, especially any Dargo deck right now. I mean, like shout out to Hebrew Hercules, aka Kellen, for like taking down that 10K at land go. Like Dargo decks are good because they're just sacrifice decks. I keep making the joke that they're just like whatever their wedge or shard is.
Once you're set up, Dargo is a fucking house.
Yeah, Dargo just doesn't care. It's just kind of like, I'm going to set up, do my thing, and if you don't pay attention to me, I'm just going to pop off with like the very few things that you can interact with.
Yep. I've seen someone set up, cast a turn 2 Dargo, hit somebody set up, killed somebody with commander damage, sacked Dargo for something, and just won. But it was just like, holy shit. Like, that deck is crazy. But all right, we're not here for Dargo. We're here for K9 War Doctor.
True.
Like I said in the beginning, I was like, all right, man, I've been wanting to do a deck tech about this for a long time, but I need to know what's going on with it. So pretty much 1.5 years ago, we agreed that the first time he beat me, I'm fairly certain he was doing War Doctor shenanigans. And
yes.
He kept like, I don't know if he had like double strike, but he kept like untapping him, attacking a couple times, and he was like pressuring a Rog Si, and he ended up like winning some crazy way. And that is not this deck. So TLDR of this deck is a Turbo Breach deck. If you look at the lands, 23 lands. So then you're gonna ask yourself, well, why the fuck would I play this over anything else? like I asked myself that too 10 minutes ago. So I honestly think this deck has fucking legs, and I honestly think Chris is a good pilot, and he might put this on the map because, like, I'll just point out the couple things, and then we'll go ahead. He's a 1 mana. It's pretty much a Rog, right? It's a
Yeah.
1 mana Rog that's an artifact. So your Mox Opals, right? Your transmute artifacts, like there's a couple synergies there, and you have a flare denial, right? Like that is something. And would you say the difference of playing this over like Rog Ishai? Is this
Yeah, is basically I have more so the deck is very canine focused. It's very
right?
focused on the synergies of that. Like you can sack canine to grinding station. You can't sack Rograk or Ishai to grinding station.
Yep, that's
Where
huge
Ishai
in a
is
breach deck. That's huge.
yeah, where Ishai is like murder bird. You just start beaming people one at a time. With your Rograk and stuff like that.
I love Ishai so
Canine,
much. It's just too slow.
yeah, yeah.
I
It's
played
it's
Ishai Jessica for a long time. It's just too slow. One source
so
of plowshares.
I think Rog Ishai can get there, but the problem is it needs a little bit more, like, 'cause it needs to dedicate a few more slots to that plan versus like my more artifact centric plan. Thankfully, we live in a docksideless world, even though I was playing dockside back in those days and playing this deck during back then.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. You're cooking.
Because I just didn't fear dockside. Like dockside's going to happen. It's a red ritual. It's not a big deal. I played Mana Crypt and played JLo because this is a canine focused deck, not a War Doctor focused deck these days versus when you and I first started playing against each other. But the reason to play canine is to basically say you can canine play. Let's say your Soul Ring, play Opal. Now you can start wheeling. You can start time twistering. You can start doing whatever. You pay an extra mana for both your canine and for your War Doctor, as opposed to a mana less with Rograk and Silas.
But it turns on more things.
But it does more. There's more added bonuses essentially.
My first question is any of the text relevant? Is the target creature? Is any of that relevant at all?
So
Besides
the target.
The artifact?
So the activated ability is irrelevant. Like it's very rare. I want to say I've activated that ability once in the last 2-ish years that I've been, almost 2 years that I've been playing this deck. Yeah, because it came out, October, November of 2023. So more than a year and a half, almost 2 years, where I've activated Canine's ability. As for the Ward 1 part, it's very relevant. Like, I'm playing Ragavan in my decks. I'm playing, currently, as you can see on the screen, I'm playing Ral, VV.
Bergie.
I'm playing Bergie. Like, those are very relevant.
Sorry, I just thought
Yeah, we're playing Thoracle. Yeah, we're a Thoracle deck.
We can talk about that later.
Yeah. But
so it is relevant.
The first part is very relevant for the legendaries, and especially with War Doctor. As long as he's untapped, which is usually a constant, Canine grants ward to all my other legendary creatures, and it's very relevant in the times when people are trying to remove the War Doctor specifically, when I have to go to that plane of, like, I have to do creature beats and creature removal to start gaining time counters and pinging people.
Yeah.
It's not common, but it does happen.
Yeah, if someone fucks with your canine, you have this for your guardianships and stuff, and then also it's a good Timna blocker.
Yep.
So that's it. I like War Doctor more than I like Silas. The only difference is Silas is black-blue, right?
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Like Grixis is a very good color combination.
Grixis is better than Jeskai. But also with the unbanning of gifts and given, now Jeskai is not laughed at the table anymore. We lost to Elsha pilot turn 2, turn 3, and then you were going to win that next turn. Like, Jeskai is real now for sure.
Yeah, Jeskai is very real.
So two things.
Jeskai's very real.
Two things I want to note, and then I want to deep dive and just give you the floor. Two things is one, this is a try to for beginners channel, kind of like I always try to gear my content for the beginner. If they click this video, they want to know, how does this dick how does this dick work? Dick joke.
How does this dick deck?
How does this big ass dick work? The dog looks like a dick too. So how does this dick work, and what are the combos? So one thing I want to go over is the Underworld Breach line. If you've been living on a rock or you're a new player, we'll talk about that. And also what we mean. So Rograk is a 0 mana red commander. And why he's so strong is because you have a turn 1 Fierce Guardianship. You have a turn 1 Deflecting Swat. So with cards like him, he ends up being really, really busted. So with War Doctor, what he was saying is you cast him, a Soul Ring, and then now your Mox Opal, which it's not really ever turned on. It's like an awkward thing at the beginning of the game. It's
Mm-hmm.
probably turned on 80% of the time. So that also like your Paradise Mantles and your Springleaf Drums. So it turns into mana. That's why Rograk and low color commanders are really good. Also,
Yeah.
I have a question before I talk about Breach. K9, even though it's a Doctor's Companion, he's still considered your commander, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So you're just going to go turn one K9. Now you have all this stuff online, and then you can protect. Because Breach can be really fast. Like, even in my VV
Mm-hmm.
deck, I can win turn 2 Breach with. Like, if I get, like, mana in a gamble and I don't discard my Breach, I could just win turn 2. So K9
Yeah.
can just turn on that free protection. And I think that's kind of the idea. So, one more thing Underworld Breach. So, to me, this is, like, the main reason why you play red right now.
Yeah.
Like, red's probably the worst color by far, but I think Auto Reach is probably the best combo. I think it's just better than Thacid Decon because it just can win out of nowhere. It's what all the top decks are playing. Blue Farm. This is like the card of CEDH. So
Yeah.
just real quick, it's 1 in a red. Each non-land card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to that card's mana cost, and then you have to exile 3 other cards. So pretty much if you have Underworld Breach, Lion's Eye Diamond, wherever it is, Lion's Eye Diamond.
Oh, it's in there. It's
Yep.
totally in there.
Lion's Eye Diamond is sacrifice it, discard your hand. So you're going to put your hand to your discard pile to fill your Breach lineup, and then you're going to add 3 mana. And then those two also combo with Brain Freeze. Target player puts the top 3 cards, mills 3 cards pretty much in your graveyard, and has Storm. So you pretty much go Underworld Breach, Lion's Eye Diamond, Brain Freeze, and you can just cast Lion's Eye Diamond, have 3 blue, exile 3 cards, have Brain Freeze, and just keep refilling your library until you pretty much fill your whole library up. Now you have your whole deck ready to go. Then a lot of times, like a Jeskai, you could probably just mill your opponents out, cast Oracle, whatever. We'll get into that later. But that's the main reason why you play this deck. So what's interesting about this deck is because War Doctor is 1 blue mana, legendary artifact creature, you're in 23 lands. So this deck is all about Underworld Breach, all about winning fast, I assume. So let's go ahead and give me the TLDR of the deck, why play the deck, what's the deck advantages, what's the weaknesses, and then we'll go like card by card.
So essentially, the advantages are, I mean, I'm literally just going to quote my
I didn't read your
primer on this one.
Yeah,
my primer is an entire dissertation, just a FYI. I literally was just like,
oh god,
there's so much. There's so much.
How to play? Hey, that's awesome.
There's literally how to play interaction.
God.
So all I did was I looked at Brian Cook's like layout, and I was like, I'm gonna do a similar layout, make it as in depth as possible, make it to where like,
my god.
Oh yeah, you have no idea. It took me, for what it's worth, it took me 3 months to fully flesh out and write this entire thing.
This is amazing. This is the best thing I've ever seen.
And the changelog I'm still currently like updating with the current edits for the list that we're looking at as we're talking about this on the podcast or on the recording. But there's like is this for you? Essentially, if you enjoy playing combo decks, right, in any format, even in like casual Commander, and you want to do something that's a little bit of a different cut of the cloth. My biggest thing that I've like been telling people for years is, or at least more recent years, is CDH as a format is very fun. Both CDH and TDH, the tournament commander format, are very good.
I agree.
They're moving. They're moving in terms of they're going to different locations. You're seeing these lists pop up, these weird lists pop up in every different thing, whether it's a proxy list or proxy friendly type event. The one thing that I always preach is that CDH is not evolving. Now you have some stuff here and there where you have like Rog Si, right? Like we were talking about this like with the Rog Si variant Rog Si over in the Colorado crew. Big props to the innovation there. Where it's due. We can't hate on it. Like, but the problem that I have is so trash. The issue that I have with CDH is constantly moving, but it's not evolving. It's not.
Yeah.
It's like you see more blue farm players because people are just like, well, it's the best deck, it's the most popular deck, let's play it. You have less. I feel like you have less brewers than you do players, and I will
Correct.
go on record with this.
Yep.
You have like comedian's one person. He's not like 10 different people in this community, but we have more players than brewers. So I'm a brewer at heart.
Me too.
I love Brewers Advantage. Like that's the reason why I brewed Gerard back in the day without even looking at
I love brewing when
what's
I
his
like
name,
find.
Shaper's List. When I found out Shaper was a person and a thing,
Mm-hmm.
brewed Winota before I even thought Ian was a person or a content creator.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just love brewing. Like it's part of my channel. That's not CDH. We love brewing fringe decks and just like stuff you wouldn't even think about. Throw it at the wall, see if it does well or not. Sometimes we'll even play in multiple weeks in a row just to like get it going. So
Dude,
my
so I can
whole
bring my friend shit to the stream. I just built a
yeah,
Thrasios deck that's just
if
Thrasios.
if you want to, yeah, like if you
I
want to,
got
like
some
I will
crazy
meme
shit.
for days.
Dude, I got some
Yeah, like
crazy
I'll
shit I'm
I'll
cooking up. People are gonna call, dude. Sorry, I love hearing that. I have.
yeah, you're good. You're
People
good.
are like, "What are you doing?" Like, don't worry about it. I got this. Urani's good. It's just 8-mana dragon. We're chilling. Don't mind me over
But
here.
yeah, my buddy Jesse, he's basically he's a South Florida local, and he's the one that's responsible for Crick. He's the guy that made the primer. He's the Crick player, and this is the guy that has been playing Crick for many years. Looked at Taval from Dragonstorm and was like, "That's a Crick type deck. Like this is a Crick strategy."
Mm-hmm.
Built Sultai Crick essentially, and got top four at the CDH 5K at Cool Stuff Con, and just been doing really well at local events and stuff like that in the South Florida area, like Broward and South. Like,
Dude, that's so cool.
big, huge shout out to Jesse. And he's, again, like, I give him tons of kudos and credit because he's contributing to the format, like slowly evolving. Like we see a lot of these popular decks, and it's just like the same decks over and over again at these events, and it's like I want to see something different. Like I want to see like there's more to CDH than just the popular decks. You can do more things, and K9 and War Doctor, in my opinion, at this current day and age, is kind of just like a love letter to CDH, but also like the byproduct of we could do more with this.
I agree.
If you take
couldn't agree more.
if players took more time to just sit down with just stuff in general, go for it. Like Final Fantasy was great because huge brew bug for anybody that loves brewing. Like I've done Matoya, I've done Black Waltz, I've done
I think there's more
Noctis, I've
commanders out of
done
Final Fantasy than there is actual cards in the 99.
yeah,
There's probably
literally
5 to 10 commanders where I'm like, oh shit, like this
yeah.
has fucking legs.
Yeah, like FF brought a lot of
Yeah.
stuff for brewing in general,
Celis,
and I love
Noctis,
it.
fucking
Like
Terra,
Vivi,
Vivi.
like you
Like
have
that's
all the
just
stuff.
the basic ones, and you have the blue-black
And
guy that people are
yeah,
brewing, the artifact guy. There's
yeah,
a lot of
Golbez. Ian
yeah.
just released a
Yep.
video on Golbez
There's
yesterday.
6
like,
of them right there. We just named
yeah,
on top of our head. Oh, I love that.
yeah.
Because
There's
not
my
really a
co-hosts
lot
are
of
doing like
good.
they're doing Ultima, they're doing Freya Crescent, they're doing
Hell yeah.
Celinda. I mean, I've been doing like I've been so invigorated by like FF and the tons of brewing we've been doing. I've been creating like deck logos for every time we do a stream now. So
That's
like
cool.
and recreating like popular logos like for Black Waltz number 3, I did Gundam Wing Endless Waltz's like big thing, but as like Black Waltz, it looked really cool. Shalinda was more like what is it? Fucking something in the machines. I forget what her name is. But yeah, the dog days are over and all that stuff. But yeah, so but the reality is like there's so much untapped potential and so many untapped commanders. Not every commander in the format is like viable for tournament play or CDH play, but like there's so much, and it's infuriating and
at all. But if you, like you said, if you ever play like a local casual CDH tables, like locals, it's not solved a little bit. There's some crazy ass shit like Winota's really good. There's crazy ass shit that nobody even plays. That's like I saw a deck the other day. I don't remember the commander. It was like doing some crazy ass blue red artifact shit, and I was like, what is this? It didn't win. Right?
What was it, like Iron Man or something like that?
No,
like Iron Man does that.
It was something. It was an older deck. I don't remember the name of it. It was irrelevant.
Oh, gotcha.
But it was just doing shit because, like you said, in tournaments, like look at the top 16s. It's cool deck, 4 cannons, 4 TNTs, 4 blue farms, blah 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 blah, and then like the random
Yeah.
Matalis and Rows. But
Plus, well, the one thing I really like, sorry to cut you off, but the one thing I really
Mhm.
love about, especially like with Canine and War Doctor, is I am literally like, there's a guy named Steinmetz who played Canine and War Doctor at Salt Fest last year, which we didn't get to it in this at the beginning, but hi, I'm the physical representation of like half of the Monolith TCG events crew, or formerly known as the Salt Monolith, who put on Salt Fest last year.
Woo! So
Um,
fast.
but we had a Canine and War Doctor list over there, from him, which I haven't seen him play anything like play that combination since April of last year. Then you have my buddy Derek, who literally was like, hey, for your last monthly event that you're doing before you focus on more bigger events and kind of like space out your time and everything, he's like, I will play in your event if you comp me entry and I will play your deck. And I was like, sure, awesome. Ended up winning the Underground Sea with free entry, playing literally Canine and the War
And
Doctor.
you couldn't have been
Like,
more happy.
and I was like, and we had what was it? If I didn't enter my own tournament, we would have had 3 pods. So I entered my own tournament. Instead of playing K9 and War Doctor, I was playing K9 and Fugitive Doctor, which is like the teamer version of the list, which does a little more Song of Creation shenanigans, which we won't get into. But, it was really cool seeing like the deck can do well, especially in the right hands of players. But, he's also a Rog Si player, and he understood immediately. He's like, this is a Rog stylist, essentially. This is a breach deck. We do breach very well. I think it can do well with it.
Yeah,
Ended up taking first the entire time.
That's so cool.
Like,
So let's dive into it, right?
Yeah.
Like we said before, jeskai is insane, right?
Yeah.
I feel like blue is obviously the best color in Magic. You have your counter
Oh
spells.
wait, yeah.
What?
We didn't like. I started rambling and yapping, and we didn't even get into like why you even asked me like why even play this with the pros and cons. Pros are you want to play. If you want to play a 1-mana commander that isn't Rogue Rack, that has access to more synergies like Grinding Station, Transmute Artifact, unlocking your Mox Opal, like we've mentioned earlier.
Yep, Grinding Station is huge.
Same thing as Rogue Rack, turning on your free spells. K9 is right there.
Flare Denial.
War Doctor
These
being
3
one
right
extra
there.
mana.
How strong are these 3 cards? Like in this day and age, if someone just goes turn 2 Necro or
Flare of Denial
whatever,
is crazy. Like it really goes crazy.
Yep.
If you want to play a partner commander that is 1 mana more than Silas, that can also deal with problematic creatures like Grand Abolishers, like Mana Dorks,
or pressure someone's life total.
Yeah, or pressure life totals for ad nauseum players that are kind of like almost non-existent in my opinion ever since Gifts and Given came unbanned. But like, the reality is like War Doctor also says in his text that was read earlier, the second a creature dies this way from his ability, gets exiled immediately, fuels him another time counter. Doesn't get buffed, just burns things, right? Or machine guns things.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
The pros are if you want something like that where you can pivot into a more grindier matchup with the War Doctor, this is going to be perfect for you, as well as it's jeskai. So we have access to Safine's Reclamation. We have access to silence effects.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, we're in blue, right? Like, you have the best counter spells, the best card draw. You're in red, which it has the best combo, in my opinion, with Underworld Breach. And you have white. Yeah. White is the best support color. White is the best color to be your third color, 100%. With all the crazy silence effects. Well, you're not even on fucking Voice of Victory or Grand Abolisher. But anyways.
So I was.
You're on silence.
But we'll talk about that later.
You're on Gifts Ungiven Intuition lines, and you're on Savine Rec lines. And that's huge, right?
Yeah.
Well, also, we didn't even talk about, for me, the biggest pro is it's a fucking Brewer's Advantage deck. Like, what are you talking about? I literally had no idea what we're going to talk about today until I saw the list. People are laughing at your War Doctor list, and you're like, every time. Let me a top 4 real quick. Every tournament I go to, or top 8. Like, you just top 4 the Sky High event. Had 38 people, and you easily top 4'd it. And you're just like, all right, cool. You're number 1, number 2 all day. You were chilling, right? And you were just cooking, and it was great. Yeah. And that's I love Brewer's Advantage.
It's Brewer's Advantage is a great concept. It can bite you in the bum, and it can benefit you in some, like, it can bite you in the ass where you're like, okay, you have your K9, your opponent's like, well, I'm going to Orchestra Master and target your K9. I'm like, oh crap, you took care of my K9. You don't
understand.
Now
how
that
good
hurts
that
because I don't
was.
have like that was really good, but like I love when opponents remove War Doctor. And this is where the best pro is like people will focus the War Doctor because of his text.
If they're both out,
I put a quote in my primer where essentially players, the second the War Doctor hits the battlefield, players gain fear from the War Doctor,
Yeah, because you don't know what he
because
does.
literally
You don't know what he's
because
doing.
because you're like, oh well, he can pressure life totals, he can get rid of my creatures. Like you start getting to like a weird panic mode, and you start getting like an internal like self, basically as an internal like self clock
Mhm.
or turn clock of like, oh man, if he does like X, Y, and Z thing, he's gonna just like go away with the game. And everybody keeps thinking that this is a War Doctor centric deck when it's actually the opposite.
He has
War
Ward
Doctor's
One
there just for
too.
the grindier games. It's there to like keep control. When I have to go in the control plan, War Doctor's coming out, and that's where I'm going with it.
It's
Um,
funny too because K9 gives him Ward 1 and they know that. So like, oh, he
yeah.
has built-in protection. We have to stop it. And you're like, yeah, I agree. Stop the Ward
Well, it's
Doctor.
funny
Yeah.
too, is like people forget about that text on Canine where he
Oh
says he
shit.
gives other legendaries word one. They're like, I'm going to target Word Doctor. I'm like, all right, well, I have word on him thanks to Canine. They're like, oh shit, really? I'm like, yeah, no,
It's a trigger.
read the card. Like, I have English versions. Like, I play the Japanese versions, but
Yeah.
like, I have English versions for people to read at any given point where I'm like, hey, if you want to read them, just don't even ask me. Just grab them, read them, look at them,
Yeah, we had to do
talk
that.
with the table.
When we played,
Yeah,
I'm like, let me fucking read this bullshit again. And you're like,
because he's
keep
got
reading it,
two
buddy.
paragraphs of text.
It's irrelevant. Keep reading it. Like, read it as many
Yeah,
times as you want. Underworld
yeah.
Breach? Is this Underworld Breach cool?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, the pros are that with Brewers Advantage. The cons are you're not playing TNK. You're not a blue form. You're not a TNT. You're not
You're not
Rog Si. You're not
Roxai.
Rog Thrasios. You're not any of these top 10 decks or
Dress
even top
down.
20. Like
Mhm.
even then, like I don't think this deck even cracks the top 50,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because
right.
I'm the only one really putting, especially with like 32 or plus, like depending on your metrics, if you're looking at 32 or higher, 40 or higher, 50 or higher, 60 higher, whatever your metrics is for EDH top 16
Yeah,
and all that stuff. I'm the only one putting in the numbers, and
yeah. But
it makes a lot of
in
sense.
this day and age, though, you're one top 16 from a big tournament away from
Hmm.
putting this deck on the map. Like, say you
Yeah,
get 7th or 8th in a fucking 10K, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?" And then it's gonna,
yeah,
and you're like, "Damn it! I wish it didn't get popular, because this deck's
yeah.
fucking
But
hot."
like, but even then, like even if it got popular, it's kind of just like the deck is, for more or less of like a better term, is like a one trick pony. But there's ways to recur that one trick pony. Whereas like
Yeah.
Rog Si, and I reference Rog Si a lot, both in the primer and just like when I'm explaining the deck, is
Mm-hmm.
Rog Si is a huge Necro deck now, and it
Mm-hmm.
relies on Necro to get that vast value to just like churn out something to where you can get your Thassa's Oracles, Consult lines, or Tainted Pact, but also
Mm-hmm.
get your Breach lines. The second you lose Breach, you're like, okay, Breach is gone, it's fine. We are a Thoracle Consult deck, turbo, through and through, and then
Mm-hmm.
Necro is like what gets us there. I don't have Necro in Jeskai colors, so
Yeah.
I'm making do by being a turbo breach deck and just running with it.
Yeah.
But what?
So good.
But so we're not Grixis, we're not Sans White, we're not these four color decks that do
But
other
you
things.
understand that though, and you go all in
Yeah,
on what you're trying to do, and nothing wrong with that.
yeah. And my mulligan decisions are based around, because I'm very knowledgeable with like different commanders and what they do. So my mulligan strategies are based around what's in my pod.
Let's talk
Like
about
if you
it.
come,
Yeah. Well, what are
yeah,
you looking for? You're on 4 wheels. You're on Ral, Vivi. You're
yep,
obviously a Storm deck. Bergie,
mm-hmm,
obviously, right? Darcy's
yep,
probably the best card in this fucking deck, right? So what's kind
mm-hmm.
of let's talk about the mulligans. What are you looking for? What is the deck trying to do? Like besides Breach, or what is your mulligans looking like?
So the mulligans are very simple. You're looking for something that progresses your game plan as quickly as possible.
Okay.
I mean, I have an entire mulligan guide in the primer. It
Mm-hmm.
has 10 test hands.
Mm.
I did 10 random test hands, screenshotted them, threw them in, and essentially your goal is to, if you, depending on seat order, it's all based on seat order, but I go a layer deeper by like pod compositions.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially your goal is to try and get to breach as quickly as possible, or
Mm-hmm.
or play things that get you to breach in that fashion.
Thundering
I
Falls.
don't aggressively mulligan for a Ristic Study. I'm not like anything you've heard on the internet where you're like, you have to aggressively mulligan for a Ristic Study if you're less than this. No, I mulligan to something that gets me somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was playing in the Cool Stuff Con 5K that I got ninth place at. Round one, went on turn four, mulligan to four in seat. I believe I'm seat four. I believe I'm seat four in this game. Round one, And I'm just like, I keep 4, go with, there's Rog Thras, there's Sisay, and then there's this weird Balin stacks list, doesn't really do stacksy things.
Mm.
And essentially I have land, I think 2 lands, an artifact, and like an intuition in hand. Those are my 4 cards.
Mm-hmm.
So I play my land, I play Canine, I drew into a free mana source. I think it was like Opal or something like that, or LED, I don't
Perfect.
remember what it was, but
Yeah.
I had to go through the notes on socials for that one. But essentially, like it ended up turning into a turn 4 win because Sisay didn't tutor properly because they didn't know what I was doing. They weren't properly. They were trying to advance their game plan. Rock Thras kind of was like advancing theirs, but kind of getting screwed on their draws and everything, especially when they had Thrasios out. And Balin was just doing Balin stuff. They got a Zerzoth out, which is that devil that creates devil tokens and
Mm.
does drawing things or whatever it is. But like at the end of the day, it was kind of just like, you know, I'm progressing. I'm looking for hands that help me get to a as close to a turn 2, turn 3 win as possible.
Okay.
Turn 2 wins do happen. They're not common because we're in Jeskai, unfortunately,
Turn
but
3.
they do happen. I mean, there have been times where like I did a turn 2 where I had Jessica's Will in hand and intuition, drew the intuition, was like, let's just try and go for it,
Mm.
because I'm also a firm believer of, instead of yapping with the table, just play to your outs. Like, I'm going to try and go for it. And if everybody else doesn't have it, just let me go for it. Play the
Yeah.
Jessica's Will. Rog Si player doesn't counter the Jessica's Will. And I target, I think, the Rog Thrust player to the left of me, get like 6 or 7 red mana, flip into counter magic to protect myself, play my intuition because I had a mana rock that gave me colored mana, and I also had protection, and it just turned into just a straight up win.
Yeah.
And that was a turn 2 win, and I think it's on. You can hear in the background of the stream of Sky High's tournament back in. It's in the primer. I forget which month it was, but there was, I think it was like March or April of this year, where you hear me in round 4 just going, like shouting "woo," like we did it, because Rog Si couldn't interact with me.
Yeah.
Rog Thras had bled his entire hand to me to where I knew he didn't have interaction, and
Mm-hmm.
the third person, or the fourth person in our pod who was in seat 3, was Rakdos the Muscle, which is a Rakdos deck.
Turn 2.
So
Let's
he didn't
go.
have interaction. Rog Thras didn't have enough interaction, and
Jessica Will
Rog
does
Thras
that
had nothing.
sometimes. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's like, fuck, I got all blue spells, pass. And other times it's like,
yeah.
oh, is that a gamble
We
I see? Is that a
yeah,
gamble I
and
put on
we
Jessica's Will? Sweet.
and we
GG's.
talked to the Rockside player, like, why not counter the Jessica's Will even though you had the counter magic? He's like, honestly, I wanted to see the Jessica's Will got you. It's Jessica's Will, because you're working with 90 to 80 something cards at this point in turn
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to get the interaction that you
Yeah.
need,
What do you get?
and lo and
A
behold,
wheel, or what if you get? More mana. What if you get a Ral?
yeah,
Like it could be fine.
yeah,
Especially Jeskai. Yeah, you get.
yeah, there are times where I've done a Jessica's Will and I've had just straight red mana, but the cards that get flipped over, either
Yeah.
lands, rocks,
Yeah.
or blue spells that I can't even cast.
Right.
It
It
happens.
happened.
Can't
I played in
you know?
VV, and it's either gas or it's ass. It's like,
Yeah.
cool, brainstorm, chain of vapor, and flusterstorm, and you're like, pass
Hmm.
turn. Like, I have 8 red
Yeah.
mana, buy 8 red mana, love you. Right? And you're
Yeah.
just like, I need 1 blue mana. Right? I have to ask you, Time Twister.
So
Why are you on 4 wheels and Time Twister literally goes against your game plan? Is it just that wheel's so much
so
better?
so it's the same reason. So all right, I have Time Twister, but I don't have a real Time Twister. I have a proxy Time Twister.
Okay.
Time Twister is the if Savine's Reclamation fails,
Okay.
if Savine's Reclamation gets countered when trying to get Underworld Breach, or Savine's is not in play and I need to get my Underworld Breach back to recur it in some way, shape, or form, while also disrupting other graveyard strategies, because those are very common still.
Mm-hmm.
Time Twister disrupts a lot of that and draws us 7 cards. So, but also recurs our Underworld Breach and puts it back into the deck. So, if you look in the sideboard, there's one card in the sideboard which is Days Undoing.
Yeah.
So I have Days Undoing in the sideboard because if I go into a proxy-less event, essentially it has to be 100% legit
You
cards.
switch them out.
I don't have Time Twister. I don't think I'll ever own a Time
In the
Twister
turn. Yeah.
like in the recent times.
Mm-hmm.
Days Undoing is essentially my budget version of Time Twister. Now, I can't use it on my actual turn. There are times I have done it, and it's either bit me in the ass or it's somehow benefited me in some way, shape, or form. It's kind of 50-50 from my experience. But when you cast Days Undoing on your turn, it ends the turn immediately after you've done the Time Twister effect. Whereas with Time Twister, you don't have that worry. So if I'm doing the budget-friendly thing,
yeah.
I play the Days Undoing. If I'm doing you can just do no holds barred proxy all day, that's literally my only proxy in the deck. Because Time Twister just recurs things, draws me 7 cards, especially if like, I have an LED or something, or some massive amounts of mana. Time Twister is also good because I can just keep churning out spells.
Right.
Sure, I have to worry about my other blue players or other players having interaction if there's any open mana, what have you. But
how good is a turn 1, turn 2 wheel though? If it's just a Time Twister turn 2, you're still like.
It can be pretty good. It can be pretty good.
I have a question with Days Undoing, right? When it says in the turn, it says exile all spells and abilities from the stack, including this card. So say like you Days Undoing to a Bowmaster, does this just go past Bowmaster and the turn's ended?
It will.
The triggers on the stack.
Because the way it works as part of the resolution of the spell is you're drawing the cards and you're ending the turn.
So nothing goes in the stack, not even a Bowmaster.
Wait, hold on. Discard down to your maximum hand size, you words off. And
exile all spells and abilities from the stack, including.
So Bowmaster isn't technically on the. Sorry, I lied. Bowmaster isn't on the stack at this point. So when everybody's drawing cards, and it says end the turn, you still have Bowmaster triggers to resolve before you can end the turn.
So
if I recall this correctly, because there's an end of turn trigger with Final Fortune. There's a reason why I did Days Undoing and why it's like a really kind of like you're playing a high risk, high reward type of strategy.
Well, I know
with
it goes
Turbo.
around Final Fortune, right?
So it only goes around Final Fortune if Final Fortune is on the stack. Like if Final Fortunes end like at the end of turn, you lose the game trigger goes on the stack, which is at the beginning of your end step. It gets around that if you cast the Days Undoing in response. But if you were casting it before that happens, the trigger still happens and you still lose the game.
Well, what if you cast this whole priority Final Fortune?
I mean, you could cast Final Fortune, but it's the trigger of Final Fortune on your extra turn is where like that comes into play, and you have to like.
You go to your next turn. Okay.
Because you go to your next turn. If you go to your end step and you like say, okay, I'm going to do this Days Undoing at instant speed because I have an Otter or a Born Upon a Wind. I'm going to do this in response to the trigger. It's going to remove that trigger. But when you do Days Undoing normally and there's a Bowmaster out, there's going to be 21 triggers on the stack of Bowmaster that have to resolve before the end of the turn can effectively end.
Okay. All right,
anyways, so it doesn't get around either of that stuff. Yeah.
Anyways, so let's talk about the deck. So we went over mulligans. Let's talk about like individual card choices. Like, is this kind of a deck like say I want to sleeve it up because it's cool? Would you recommend if I'm sleeving it up naked? I've never played it before. I want to just take this to my LGS. Would you suggest just to play the deck as is, or is there a couple card slots, or just cards you're testing? What's like the main cards of this deck? Obviously, besides Breach.
So for what it's worth. The list as it is will always be what I recommend that you play. I do have a duplicated version of the list that like does a bunch of testing and stuff like that, and I upload my change. I have a change log in the primer as well that you can click into, and it basically just shows you things. If you don't like the current version of the list, by all means go back to the next one, see what I cut, see what I added in, and just cut the stuff that I added in, and like reverse it essentially. Like in the previous version, I had Voice of Victory, I had Mysterized Village. Let me look through my own changelog because I took out Pyroblast, I took out Mysterized Village, I took out Voice of Victory, I took out Stock Up, and I took out Copy Artifact. I added Vivi, I added Louis So's Sacrifice, Red Flare, Route, Dragon's Rage Channeler. Before that, I had Spellseeker before Gifts Ungiven was unbanned. The second Gifts Ungiven was unbanned. I did that swap because that was the easiest swap. I've done a lot of things, and I've kept a lot of things in the considering as well. Like I used to be a huge Goblin Welder list because I was slightly mimicking the Cabal's Bolas Citadel Welder list they were doing with Rog Si back in the day.
Yeah.
where I was running Apple of Eden
Mm-hmm.
and the One Ring, and the only reason why I was running Apple of Eden is because I had Goblin Welder and the One Ring.
Mm.
Apple of Eden was a great card. It, in my opinion, still is a great card, but with the lack of Dockside, I've
Oh,
learned
yeah.
that I'm just not too keen on it.
Mm.
Dockside helped out a lot because I could get the mass mana to where, like, okay, I have the apple, crack it, I have extra mana, I can pop off faster. In this case, it just doesn't work that well. And it only works at sorcery speed, so like your opponents can interact with you with like silence effects and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I still have a lot of these cards. They're kind of in my like little war dog
Sideboard.
box, as I call it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have a
I
little
have that
box
too.
off to the side
For
somewhere.
my Nagila deck and my
Um,
BB deck, I have just at the back of my binder, just
yeah,
sideboard. Yeah.
like pre-bans, I was on Teferi and Displacer Kitten, even though it was a combo deck, because it was easy to just be able to like pop off with
When
that combo with Dockside because we were just massing a ton of
yeah,
mana. But now that we've been neutered of so much fast mana in that regard, like I had to cut it.
yeah.
Still have them, but I had to cut it. But yeah, so as the list is how you're showing it, I would recommend you run it.
Okay.
The biggest recommendation I have is literally just literally learn the lines, learn what hands are keepable, because it's very much a meta dependent deck. For those that have like legacy experience,
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I'm saying that is because I used to play Nick Fit a lot for like 5 years in legacy. And Nick Fit was a very like, you have to have so much format knowledge for Cabal therapies.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. So for this one, it's the same thing. You have to have format knowledge, whether it's CEDH or Tournament Commander, because that's how you keep your mulligans, you keep your hands, but you want to keep things that progress the board. So I would suggest play the list as it is currently. It's honestly the best version of the deck right now, especially because I recently got top 4 at a 38 person event
Mm-hmm.
a few weeks ago, or 2 or 3 weeks ago,
I was there.
on this exact list. And
Yep.
yeah, I'm telling you right now, like I've had the most fun with this list that I've had in a long time,
You
and
were
I
on both
every time I
initially.
keep making changes and doing well with it, I just keep having more fun. So how I'd recommend it with a new player is just learn the lines, learn what hands are capable to progress you to a turn 2 to turn 3. Like expect turn 3 to be the average turn that you can start popping off.
Mm-hmm.
Turn 2 being like a miracle, which it can happen. I can't deny it. It has happened to me plenty of times. Um, and turn 4 being like the absolute latest that you can start popping off, at least on like a turbo aspect. If you have to pivot, then you have to pivot, but just learn the lines, learn the pathways to get you there. Play in a perfect environment where like there's no counter spells, you're the only person comboing with those things. Then proxy up the deck, sit down with it, put it in a pod, and literally learn. You kind of have to like, it's like on the job training. You have to literally learn how to play the deck in a testing environment as it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't, just randomly sleeve up this list a few months ago with a fun idea and just like started doing well with it. I was very rusty about 18 plus months ago because I was doing more tournament oriented focused things and
Yeah.
playing with Noda a lot. So I wasn't like really paying too much attention as to like how to play and be a better player.
Mm-hmm.
But playing so many times, it just helps so much. Like the more you play, the more you're going to like learn the deck and learn how to play the deck and just like appreciate the deck.
Yeah.
But I'm also expecting to be the only person to really like play this deck and go to tournaments with it.
Yeah. I mean, the deck's definitely real. Like you're doing a lot of work with it, right?
It's a lot of work. Like I put as much dedication into this dissertation of a primer than I did,
Mm-hmm.
or as much as I did, as well as into this list, because like
Yeah.
the format's ever evolving, the format's ever changing. People are like, oh well, we're playing Mirror Mate now, we're playing Copy Enchantment. I played Copy Enchantment for a hot minute. It was fun, it was great. Tossed it because it just wasn't doing enough at the right times. It ended up being more of like a Chrome Mox fodder or something where like I just need it out of my hand more than I need anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm perfectly, I'm happy with where the list is currently.
Yeah.
Like I was on Into the Flood. I cut Snap immediately when Dockside was banned because I was like, well, I'm not bouncing my own stuff to my own hand now, or to my hand now. So like I cut Snap, but then I re-added Snap back in April because I was like, you know what? It's free mana. Why not? Re-added Snap. Snap has been beautiful still. It's essentially a free removal spell.
I love Snap.
It's not Into the Flood Maw, where Into the Flood Maw is 1 mana and like can gift a fish if you want to bounce a Rhystic Study. So it doesn't have the flexibility of Into the Flood Maw,
That's
but
where I'm
I'm
kind
really
of
liking.
curious. You're on Rift over Flood Maw, and everybody's doing the opposite, especially in this deck if it's a turbo deck. Like 7 mana, you're winning the game, but Cyclonic is still good, right? It's
So because I'm such a artifact heavy deck as well, like I have not so much artifact heavy. I am, and I'm gonna quote Brian Cook's like Rog Si primer on this one is I'm a deck that plays a lot of permanent mana sources that, and I can just turbo them out like quickly, right? So I'm able to do that pretty aggressively, and I can have 7 mana ready and available as needed for the most part. I like Psych Rift still to this day because it hits anything without having to, because you have Dargo Timna now, which is prompting Mardu Summer. You have Dargo Timna, they'll just sack the damn thing. They'll sack the fish if you give them the fish to pop off into their combos. The fish is there as like a blocker. The fish is, can just be sacked to your black decks who run Calling the Weak or something or your Rog Si lists that are also playing Calling the Weak or Phyrexian Tower. The fish has actually been more of a liability than with having that flexibility of bouncing a Grafdigger's Cage or anything that Snap just is fine. Snap is fine.
Well, also you're obviously a breach deck. So what if somebody has a Grafdigger?
And Psych Rift is amazing because it hits everything.
Right, that too. But what I'm saying is say you just get a crazy stacks pod, and you're just there's 2 or 3 pieces stopping me. There's a Douthie and a Grafdigger's Cage. I'm an instep Overload Rift. Right.
Yeah.
Fight over.
Yeah, it's happened plenty of times where I've done that. There have been times where I've been heavily stacked out because we have a Voya player that's pretty local and he's a very stacks heavy wolf deck. There's other stacks players that play at these Sky High tournaments, stuff like that, Forge Pierce.
Random decks.
Yeah, and it's just I get hit with the stacks pieces, but I don't care about stacks pieces. They hurt me. But one thing I've learned,
breaches, right?
Well, I mean, it hurts my breach and everything, which, it's kind of a pain in the ass, if anything. But, I've noticed and learned that it hurts me less than it does my opponents because my opponents are the ones that are very vocal, oh, no, we got to get rid of this Grafdigger's Cage. Oh, no, we got to get rid of this. We got to get rid of this. And I'm they're trying to, and if I'm especially the only, blue player or the only, responsible player, they're oh, man, you got to get rid of this. I'm no, I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it. And then they're well, why are you letting this resolve? Because it actually hurts me more than you. Very openly, you're telling me that you need to get this removed. It's hurting you more than me, and I can get rid of it at any point. I have swords to get rid of Dauthies. I have Psych Rift to get rid of the non-creature spells. I have Snap. I even have Dress Down. Dress Down is amazing. Yep, I re-added Dress Down to the list. It's literally reversal. What I consider Dramatic Reversal is the second Dockside got banned. I added Dramatic Reversal as my pseudo Dockside because instead of generating, instead of becoming a ritual, I just untap all my shit and then just kind of do it again.
Dude, I have a card. We could probably talk about it after this, but I have a card that would be absolutely insane in this deck, and it is so underrated. But anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, so as far as your argument of Psych Rift is Psych Rift does hit a lot of things, but you don't have to worry about the cap for 2 mana, which is, it's 2 mana compared to one with Into the Flood Maw, but I don't like the liability of the fish, so that's why I run the Psych Rift. Okay. And I've kept Psych Rift.
I just feel opposite. I haven't the fish hasn't really hurt me because say just VV, right? I've been playing VV. Flood Maw is just a 1 mana instant speed, blow the thing up that's either winning in the game or stopping me from winning, and then I either go for it and go from there. So the fish is almost irrelevant, but I definitely see what you're saying in those grindy pods. I'm not giving Timna a fucking 1/1.
Exactly.
No. Well, if I gotta bounce their breach, I will, right? But it's just I see what you're saying for sure. But I mean, this deck has a bunch of mana, right? You're on a bunch of rituals, overloading it isn't that big a deal.
I'm on
2 mana bounce, anything's okay.
I think I did the math recently, and I'm on 47 or I know with VV, I think I'm on 48 mana sources, which is essentially the same as Rog, because Rog Si has always been on. Pre-bans, it was on 48 mana sources, and I was on 46. Post-bans, because they're not on Dockside, they're not on Mana Crypt, they're on 46 typically. and I'm back up to 46 because I kind of view Ral as a kind of like mana reduce, or I guess a kind of like a ramp spell in some way, even though it's a mana reducer, but
Right.
also Vivi is a mana source as well. So
Yeah.
my thinking is like I'm on par with them, and especially because that deck is rising back in popularity again, especially like over the last almost 4 months. You know, that's why my biggest comparison, why I, like a broken record, keep comparing myself to Rog Si, because the reality is like
Yeah.
I brewed this deck based off of the winning Rog Si list of Punt City 3.
Yeah.
Turned my control mid range list that I used to play into a turbo list, and I've been on the turbo list ever since, and
Yeah.
I've loved
They're
it. Like,
super comparable, right? You're taking out black and you're
yeah,
adding white. Okay, I don't have
yeah,
demonic tutor. Hey, I got silence, right?
yeah,
Okay, I don't have
exactly.
vampiric tutor. I have a Savine's reclamation.
Yeah,
right.
You know,
And
I have access to a bunch of other things that they don't. Like I have access to an Esper Sentinel, which they don't have,
it's
but I
one of the
also
best
don't
cards.
have access.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't have access to an Orchestra Master. Well, if I wanted to kind of get close to replicating that, you know, Razor Can Needlehead is the closest thing I could do to that, because
if you wanted to, yeah.
You know, but I don't really. I'm at a point where like I don't care if you draw cards, because somebody's going to lose no matter what, and it's not by life points.
Now I want to talk about these two for a second. I feel like unbanning a Gifts Ungiven and Intuition like makes jeskai real, and you know, makes a strategy real. Like, am I right? Like these two are literally one card combos, instant speed in your deck. Like it doesn't matter what you give me, doesn't matter when I do this, I'm winning the game. And I feel like this puts this deck on the map. Just these two cards by itself. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
No, you're right. It's so
we have to count the intuition, guys, or we lose.
So my friend and basically former CAG member Shivam right? I met him officially in Amsterdam MagicCon last year. We ended up sharing we ended up staying together at a friend's place, like an hour and a half from Amsterdam, because he lives over in Nijmegen area. And we just got to talking, and you know, it was like right on the time of like the height of the egocentric like CDH personalities on Twitter, when Twitter was more active, all the content creators for Magic and everything, before like the divide between Blue Sky and whatnot. But anyway, so you know, we got to talking, and you know, we both agreed that like when they when they finally unbanned Gifts Ungiven, it was literally like finally, because it was always this like, why do you have Gifts Ungiven banned but Intuition is free? Right? Sure, it's 3 mana and your opponents get to choose one card that goes into your hand, versus Gifts Ungiven, which is like 4 mana and the 2 cards they choose go to the graveyard. Sure, that's fine, but at the end of the day, like if you have one but not the other, then why do you have the other one?
Right.
You know, because they do virtually the same thing, right?
Yeah.
They both search a library to end the game, and they do it. So it was either, we were always on the fence of like, and we both agreed that, you know, it's kind of like, stop pussyfooting around the topic whenever it's brought up. It's literally, if Gifts Ungiven is never going to be unbanned and you don't care for it to be unbanned, then just ban Intuition. Like if you ban Intuition, my deck gets horrendously worse at that point, right?
Right. But your deck before this is a fringe archetype, right? Like no.
Oh, it's very fringe, yeah.
Well, correct,
but like, you know, and another thing too is like in jeskai, you're allowed to play Intuition versus Rog Si or Grixis in this case.
Correct.
You are not, because you don't have access to Savines.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, my Breach and my Savines are put to Yard, but you're giving me LED. Well, okay, I'm just gonna play this LED, and do you have it, right?
Well, also you win too. Is just say you like do a breach line, right? Like you Intuition for the breach line, and then you're like, cool, my breach resolves. I have Intuition in my bin. Now I'm gonna tutor the other pieces. Like that's why that card's
I mean, I've done that.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
And what I think Gifts Ungiven was the perfect unbanning, because I think Gifts Ungiven is busted in the right deck, but it is not broken for the whole format. Like, yes, Gifts Ungiven made 5 color breach decks good and made 3 jeskai good, but it doesn't go in every. It might go in Blue Farm, but I doubt it. It doesn't go in Grixis. It doesn't go in these weird Sultai pile decks. Like, it definitely like is really good in jeskai, but that's about it. There's not a lot of decks, like maybe Najila. Like, I play Najila, but who's playing Najila anymore? Maybe a Kenrith, right? But it's inherently broken in your deck, right?
Yeah.
Just but not in the format. And I think that's why we play
Yeah.
CDH for broken cards. Like, yeah, Gifts Ungiven just bumped up this deck, but it's fucking Jeskai. Like Jeskai
Yeah.
needed it, and I love
Yeah.
it. I love it for the format. We need more cards like this.
I think jeskai needed the extra tool, and I'm glad that we got the extra tool.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm perfectly like I'm also like I'm a weird outlier, right? Because I've been playing CDH for so long that like when they banned Hull Breacher, I was like that makes 0 sense. But because it was
Get
because the
out of
casuals,
here.
right?
Get
No, I'm
out
being
of here.
serious. I'm being serious. I was on
Hull-
Winota at the time, right?
Hull
I
Breacher's
was on
so
Winota.
broken.
I was playing Wheel of Fortune, the only wheel in the Winota list at the time, because it was like, oh, it's a great refill my hand, try and do things, yada yada yada.
Mhm.
I actually was okay with Hull Breacher. I'm still today okay with Hull
No
Breacher.
way.
Like, because at the end of the day, it was kind of like Hull Breacher was fine. Like, there was an end to the game essentially, but because it bled into the casuals and they didn't
I don't
have
agree.
access to the game changers list like we do now,
Yeah.
tournament CDH and other things just felt like, okay, you have a Hull Breacher, show us the win condition.
Well, the issue
how are you winning?
is 2 Hull Breachers. Now the game stops. That's the
Well,
problem.
yeah, then you have to worry about that, which is a whole timestamp thing. So,
Yeah.
like, if you play a Hull Breacher after one was already played, then you're like,
Right.
okay, I have priority essentially over your Hull Breacher. It's a whole timestamp
Correct.
thing. With the way Hull Breacher is worded is as a timestamp thing. With how Op Agent is worded, it's all from what the MTRA
list.
IPGA have said is it's based on the player. So essentially, if an opponent is trying to search for something and they forget that there's 2 op agents, that player gets to decide who gets the op agent like search.
Yeah.
Whereas with Hull Breacher, it's literally no ifs, ands, buts about it. It is a timestamp thing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if both players have it, right? Now the guy that has it time-stamped, he still can't get the treasures because this guy has a Hull Breacher, right?
Yeah,
So
which is, but at that point, you're trying to win the game.
The game just stopped, though, because there's 2 Hull Breachers. 1 Hull Breacher is insane. But when you have a Hull Breacher, now I have a Hull Breacher.
Right. You could yap it out and, like...
Yeah. I can't imagine a Hull Breacher in this yap meta right now, bro. Would be disgusting.
And that's the other thing, too. Like, I will go on
good.
record saying a lot of weird, outlandish shit, right? And one other thing, too, is, like...
We can agree to disagree.
If you're gonna yap, just play the fucking game, right? If you're gonna yap, obviously you want to try and win, and you want to soak up more time. We're gonna treat this like soccer at that point. Okay, fine. I'm gonna get an injury. We're gonna soak up more of the time, and we're gonna try and make it a draw.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep playing my game no matter what.
My buddy Mahali said it best. He was like, "CDH is literally Monopoly board game now. Like, this is a board game.
It's Monopoly.
It is not a card game anymore. This is a board game."
It's a board game. Like, it went from I've been playing long enough to where we went from playing to your outs was the definition of playing CDH to, well, 1 point is better than nothing. I'm still gonna play to my outs. If there's any way, shape, or form where I have to accept the draw no matter what, sure, I'll accept the draw. If it makes the most sense. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm not going to spend time yapping. I'm just going to try and push wins.
I agree.
I'm going to focus on pushing wins.
You got it or you don't got it. Yeah, I don't think you should king make somebody by any chance, but I definitely think when people are like, okay, I'm going to draw, I won't push, I'm going to draw. It's like, nah, motherfucker, if at Sky High, one person agreed to draw, we were all dead to rights, right? But they were like, you know what, you're right, I'll just draw here, I'm not trying to fight over it. It's like, no, motherfucker, you only draw when you're cooked. You keep pushing and you keep pushing and you keep pushing until you have to take a draw, right?
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. But anyways, we're running out of time a little bit, but
I know. We've been yapping long.
It's okay. We're all wife's out of town. We can yap a little bit. I just got to check on the kids. So, is there anything else like individual cards like Malevolent Hermit's insane in this deck? I think you're saying Ral and Vivi you're kind of testing right now.
Yeah, Ral and Vivi I've been testing right now, and Malevolent Hermit has been the best thing. It's literally a mana leak for 1, or essentially 3 mana. It's a mana leak.
Silence effect.
Yeah, it's been great.
Anything crazy, though, that stands out? Well, Jeskai's obviously insane in this deck.
There's so much spice. Like, this entire deck is essentially spicy, so I don't know, like, how to answer that question. Like, I'm running both flares because I used to be on red flare, then I cut it for blue to go back onto blue flare.
We're in a lot of Darcy, Ragavan, Ral.
I'm on more red creatures now, so I put red flare back in. and I don't care if I sack my War Doctor to the red flare. Like the War Doctor means nothing to me outside of like creature control and being able to like essentially divert removal in some way, shape, or form
He has
in like
feelings.
to him.
Whoa.
I know.
Whoa.
I used to joke a lot of time that like my deck was John Wick and that's his dog, and if you kill my dog, then I'm gonna John Wick you.
Right. Yeah, I played
Doesn't
against that
help that
variant.
like,
Yeah.
and that was like how it happened was like, all right, you killed my dog. Well, I'm gonna play the War Doctor. Now I'm gonna like do like, it wasn't salty, but it was more along the lines of like, okay, well, I'm gonna show you that like I'm gonna start picking off things and you're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
And everybody hated it.
Right.
But yeah, we're on because you've mentioned it before. Like we're on 23 lands, right?
Right.
I bounce between 23 and 24. Not often. There has to be a reason for it. April, when I got ninth place, I was on Mistrise Village. That was my 24th land. More recently, I'm back on 23 because of the current list and how it is. Like I'm on Rouse, so I might as well cut a land at this point.
Does that feel good? 23,
I've seen,
or do you
yeah, like I think I don't ever miss. So I was on Mistrise Village, and Mistrise Village is a slot, like a spell slot, right? 2 mana to protect the next spell is fine, but it's also got its negatives because you're like, fuck, all right, well, now I have to make sure to have Mistrise Village and a blue source up to make sure that my Underworld Breach is uncounterable, right? Well, what if that's your third spell of the turn? Mindbreak Chop just removes it because it says I'm just going to target shit on the stack and exile them. Doesn't counter them, just exiles them. You know, we that's it. So
Yeah.
I don't miss it. I still have it in case I want to put it back in, but I don't ever miss it, especially nowadays. Like I've considered putting in Starting Town, but like I don't know what to take out. Maybe like Sacred Foundry, or take out like maybe even my Otawara, because lately I've been just hard jamming playing Otawara versus using it for channel ability.
Yeah.
There's just a bunch of stuff. So
this is just Ral with white, but with
yeah,
good
it's
stuff.
it's Ral with like the current
Yeah.
list right now is essentially like Ral with white. I've seen Ral more times than I've seen VV, and Ral's been very detrimental in terms of like, or very detrimental in terms of like casting my stuff for less, which is great, right?
Yeah,
But
Russia Will
also
feels
I've
great. Jessica's Will feels amazing.
the 3 times that I've seen Ral and played Ral, 2 of those times I've sacked him for Flare of Duplication because he was there, and I was like, I don't care about the Planeswalker side. Like, I care, like, I do, but I don't. It's really weird. Like, Ral is great as a thing. I might even cut Ral for something else, but I'm kind of liking Ral with how things are going.
Okay. That's good.
I just don't really care about the ultimate as much as I thought I would. Because I ultimated him once, and then I ultimated, and I was like, oh, well, out of the, what is it, eight cards? Yeah, out of the 8 cards that he exiles, like, most of them were permanents in some way, shape, or form. And I think one of them was even Breach. And I was like, well, I've lost this game. I didn't win that game.
Yeah, that sucks. Okay.
But it was like, because you can only cast instants of sorcery, so it's like, all right, well, I don't play like Pull from Eternity, which is a white 1-mana spell instant that like takes a card from the exile zone and puts it in its owner's graveyard.
It's too bad. Yeah.
I mean, I've thought about playing it because I mean, if we look at my deck stats, like the color stats, I am 8% all symbol, 8 or 9% all symbols white. So like, I could do it. It's why I don't play Grand Abolisher. Like I get a constant question every time is, why not play Grand Abolisher? Why are you playing Defense Grid over Grand Abolisher? Or why are you playing this over Grand Abolisher?
It's because of color.
At the end of the day, is Grand Abolisher is too mana intensive. And I know it sounds terrible. Like it sounds ridiculous, right?
23 lands. I get it.
It's 2 white pips though. Like,
right.
If it was Voice of Victory where it's 1 and a white, play it all day, because I have more flexibility where I can use like Sacred Foundry and a blue land to do like a Volcanic Island to cast it. But because I have to have 2 white mana no matter what to cast Grand Abolisher, it doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather have the flexibility of 2 generic mana or a silence effect. I've had people. I did play Voice of Victory for a little bit there. I might bring it back in. Haven't really decided yet.
I get it.
Yeah, White's Perseverance, but
I get it.
Yeah, it's mainly for that, and it's also the fact of like, I don't care if my opponent can activate their creatures, their artifacts, and their enchantments on my turn.
Sure.
Yeah, I did play Voice of
You're the guy.
Victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played Voice of Victory. Voice of Victory is good. If you want to play Voice of Victory, I recommend going to my most recent changelog, which is like April or not April, June something,
Yep.
um, and essentially just revert the changes at least
Right.
on the creature package. Like
Yep.
you could remove Ral to put Voice of Victory in, but
Hmm.
in doing so, probably take out Flare of Duplication and put in one of the
Yeah.
non-creature spells I took out.
I,
Like,
I was looking at it. There's probably 3 cards I would change if I were to sleeve it up, just for my
yeah,
personal
probably.
preference. But I mean, it's still like I would still play pretty much that deck. Like I'm
Yeah,
definitely
it's
playing Voice of Victory. There's a spicy card I want to play, and I'm probably possibly cutting Time Twister, but that's a thing for me.
yeah, like
But
Time
yeah, man. I
Twister
mean,
is a
it's
very weird thing for people, and I kind of had to
yeah,
like, I had to like,
yeah,
especially with Days Undoing, I had to like really warm up to the idea of it.
hmm
If you want to cut Time Twister, you could easily put Stock Up. Like,
yeah,
I will preach to the day, like, Stock Up was a great idea to put in my list, and I love Stock Up to death. Stock Up is a 3 mana dig through time that for 2 less cards that just puts 2 cards in hand and 3 on the bottom.
yeah.
You're
I feel like
digging and it
you're
just gets deeper.
I don't know, man. Like Rock Thrust is on it, and I'm just like, you're in blue already. Like card draw isn't the problem, but I guess your
Yeah.
commanders don't give you card draw, so I could see it. But we could talk about
Yeah.
individual pieces all day. Well, before I let you go, was there anything else about the deck you wanted to talk to about? Do you want to get any advice for new players?
Like I said,
Sleeve it up.
pretty much if you want to sleeve this up and you think it'd be cool for you, um, learn the mulligans, mulligan for hands that get you to places. Moxfield playtester is very, very sketchy.
Weird.
It's not the best. It's better than Arena's play like
Right.
shuffler, but
Right.
Moxfields has still got its issues. It doesn't work towards you. Like if you look at my mulligan guide, like I'm pretty sure you'll see a lot of hands. You're like, what the fuck is this hand? Why is he keeping some of these hands? There's got explanations for him, and why is he even like putting this up here as like an example?
Yeah.
You'll get those hands. Like they do happen in paper. Um,
Mm.
the deck can literally, if you want to aggressively mulligan, the deck can get there on a hand of 4. And I hate to say it, but I haven't gotten to that point post bans dockside, but pre bans we could get there at 3.
Damn.
Like if like because it's literally I had land, I think it was like land, rock, dockside, or some weird thing to kind of just like get things
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
I forget what the 3 cards were at the times that happened, but you can get to 3 and it's still like come out in your favor, especially with cards you're drawing because everything's unknown. Currently, you can go as low as 4 that I'm aware of and have experienced, and as far as I've gone because I've been comfortable with that,
Yeah.
and you can still get there. The deck pushes, the deck does things that makes it to where like your opponents have to interact with you no matter what, but because you're on a deck that nobody understands, that's where the brewer's advantage comes into play, and you can literally just jam no matter what. Like people are going to interact with you when it comes to the key spells, which is fine. It's going to happen. These are popular cards for a reason.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like the second you play Canine, like, oh, you're going to play Canine. Okay, fine. You have access to your free spells. Whatever. You play War Doctor because you have to pivot to a grindier plan. You're just freaking out. Yeah, your opponents are freaking out.
But you're also one draw away from. Oh, I got this gift ungiven. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll blow this gift ungiven. Is that cool?
I am always I've learned playing the deck. I'm always 1 or 2 cards away from either being a intuition, gifts ungiven,
Gamble.
intuition, gifts ungiven, gamble, underworld breach, like other
You're winning.
things.
Yeah, there's 6,
I'm
7
winning,
cards
like,
you can top deck at any moment where you're like, oh, I win here. Cool.
Yeah, there's been times where I've kept hands of 7 where it was like gamble and grinding station and literally a mox opal, and I was like, and I have ancient tomb, right? I'm just like, all right, cool.
Turn 2.
Ancient tomb, grinding station, mox opal, pass the turn 2. Cool. I drew a Sending Spirit Guide randomly. I'm gonna Sending Spirit Guide, cast this gamble. We got the breach. Cool, sick, awesome. We're going to play this land that makes blue, cast Canine. Now my opal is online. I'm going to now cast this breach, and I'm gonna grinding station until I win.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it happens.
Yep.
All the time.
Yeah, I
like,
love breach. I feel like people are like, ew, red. Like, no, breach is strong enough where it's keeping red above water.
So once you get familiarized with the list, I recommend running like playing in tournaments with it if you want to like scratch that itch if you have a tournament itch.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, like it's a great tournament deck. Like I'm Steel City Spectacular in August. I'm gonna tell you right now, I am going, but not as a player.
I wish you're coming to
So
my
I
tournament
was
this weekend. I wish. I'd love for
Yeah,
you
I'm
to
on
smash,
vacation for the
man.
next 9 days starting Saturday, so it's not gonna happen, bud.
Damn Damn it.
But you'll catch me free rolling the next like 3 Sky High tournaments that I'm aware of because
It's cool.
I'm moving to North Carolina at the end of September. Because
Yeah.
Florida's just too
I
damn
want to go to
expensive.
their the dual land one. The top 10 units
Yeah,
of dual land. I want to go to that one.
yeah, I think that's the September one. So I've convinced a bunch of people jokingly that to play whatever my exact War Dog list is at that point in September for that event, and we can just like run a shit ton of canine and war doctor lists and see like who gets there essentially.
Hell yeah.
Just because it'd be a fun meme and like it's a
I'm
send
down.
off for me because I think it's happening in September.
I'm down.
But yeah, so if you want to pick it up, just learn the lines, learn how to play the deck in that regard. If you like reading, read the primer. The primer is long, it is detailed, and it's detailed for a reason. Like I'm the type of person where if I'm being taught something, I want to be taking. I kind of want my hand being held, like step by step, to do something correctly, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to do a job, I need to know how to do the job correctly, and I need you to teach
Correct.
me how to do it correctly. So if you have to go the extra 5 minutes to hold my hand and be like, "This is A, B, C, D," versus being like, "So you have to get from A to D, and good luck."
Me too. Yeah.
So I tried explaining it to the point where like, here's the reason why I'm playing these cards. Here's the reason why we like these cards in this deck. Here's the reason why we're choosing these cards. Like there's reasons for everything,
Mm-hmm.
and it's why it's lengthy. And we're a blue deck. We're playing the best card draw. We have access to Savines, which is very powerful, especially because white is a very good support color. Access to Silence. We play D grid just like other turbo lists if they're playing D grid.
Mm-hmm.
I I don't harp on it enough. Decrit is a very good silence effect. Probably better than Silence, probably better than Grain Abolisher, probably better than all the other ones. Grain Abolisher is
Whoa.
uncounterable because it's a creature, but that's about it.
Whoa.
I'm gonna yap forever on this
Okay.
fucking
We
deck
could
because
disagree
it's
on
amazing.
defense grade. We could disagree, but it's fine. But
But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like if you wanna play the deck, take the list, go off with the list, pop off. There's somebody in like a Facebook group that took my list and made their version of Wrong Dog is what they named it. And you know what?
people are
For
getting
what it's
crazy
worth,
with these fucking names.
for
Wrong
what it's
dog.
worth, if it ends up doing well for them, no worries. If it doesn't, maybe develop it further. If it's still not working, maybe it just was never meant to work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Like I play what I play. I like what I like. I'm gonna keep doing it.
I like it.
And
It's hot.
I
I
don't
like
care.
the turbo
Like,
variant for sure. It turned me on.
it's hot.
the
It's
second I
in,
saw it.
and we want it.
We want it, dog. We want it. But all right, that's it. It's been
Yep.
about an hour and a half.
Oh
Appreciate
yeah,
your
I'm so
time.
sorry it's taking up all that time.
I love it. No, it's exactly what I wanted. It's everything that I
could
wanted.
literally talk about this. Like I could go literally category for category
another
if
one.
we
We
did like
could-
card
yeah.
choices. Like
Yeah.
if we went just like card choices and like did this entire deep dive based on the card choices and just talk about each individual thing, I'm sure we could get like 3 to 5 hours on this thing.
But you're
And-
in my Discord though. If you win a big tournament with it, I'm gonna get you back on. Right?
Yeah,
if you got
it's
any
gonna
questions,
happen.
hit him up. I'm gonna put
gonna
all his
happen.
socials, his Twitter, everything down below.
Yep.
If you have any questions, I might cook with it. I might sleeve it up and we're gonna talk about it. But that's Chris Glade. I'm the Doom of Fool. Y'all have a good night. Peace.